with more on the January 6th hearings, we want to bring in our political analyst, Dr. Michael Romano. So, Dr. Romano, for people who haven't been watching, why did these hearings even matter?
It's a great question, really. There are two kind of big important reasons for this hearing to take place. At its most basic level, committee hearings like this really root out what the causes of major malfunctions in government are. And I think January 6th is a big major malfunction in what happens in governance. We've seen a lot of talk about, like, what is the role of the vice president? What is the role of things like the 12th Amendment or the Electoral Count Act? This is all signaling that things that Congress can absolutely do are fix these issues so that they don't happen again, because I don't think anybody wants to see what happened on January 6th happen again. More than that, though, this is an educative moment for the American people to really see why did these things occur and who is responsible for them, something that we don't really get to know unless somebody investigates. And the congressional hearing and the committee has been working very hard to do that so that we finally get to have the answers to why and how and can we stop it from happening again.
And just from what we've seen happen so far, what were some of the most surprising takeaways?
I think probably one of the most surprising takeaways for me watching this over the past couple of days has been just how deep all of this went and how many people were actually involved. And just the variation between what was being told to the American public at the time versus what was being actually said behind closed doors to the president, to lawyers for the president's office. This has all been very shocking to hear that either what we have on the one hand is an attempt to completely subvert American democracy or an attempt to subvert the American people for the attempt at attempted fraud, essentially. And all of that is very shocking to hear the White House doing in its last month and a half in office.
And Ginni Thomas, the wife of Justice Clarence Thomas, they're wanting to get her testimony. What's her tie to the January 6th insurrection?
So Ginni Thomas has been a conservative advocate for a very long time and is very different from a lot of spouses to Supreme Court justices as a result. She was in close communication with one of Trump's main lawyers, John Eastman, with his chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and had some fairly inflammatory, concerning statements made during those conversations that have drawn the attention of the committee, largely because despite the fact that the Thomases generally claim that they remain in separate political lanes, the two times that the Supreme Court was asked to weigh in on the 2020 election and everything that happened after the fact, Thomas did actually dissent in those cases, trying to claim that the Supreme Court should be involved. He, along with Justice Alito, was dissented when the Supreme Court first acknowledged that there was no clear indication of fraud in the 2020 election. And then when the committee actually was looking to get insight into what was happening on January 6th, Thomas was actually the lone dissenter in saying that records shouldn't be provided to the committee. And that's kind of questionable, given that we now know that Thomas's wife, Ginni Thomas, was actually one of the individuals strongly pushing for the overturn of the election.
All right, so a lot will be happening. So we have about a minute. Dr. Romano, regardless of what comes out from these hearings, do you think that it'll be enough to sway supporters to understand how bad this really was?
It's the hope, really, at the end of the day, is that the kind of that second big thing that this committee is really trying to do is enlighten the American public. And the American public is very polarized, not only about the 2020 election and January 6th, but across many different divides. I think a big part of this is how elite leaders, members in Congress, start to respond to the committee hearings and try to root out what is actually going on within Congress and within the halls of justice to really kind of bring back trust from the American people to the governing system.
All right, Dr. Romano, thank you so much for being here and for your time. And we'll be right back. You're watching Capitol Review.